The Cleveland Cavaliers have let it be known that Andre Drummond will not be playing basketball for their organization anymore. As he gets ready to become a free agent in just a few months, the Cavaliers, who made the trade for Drummond over a year ago with the Detroit Pistons, they're looking to gain as many assets back for a guy that probably wasn't going to sign with them long term anyway. For what I'm hearing, it looks like the Cavaliers, who acquired Jared Allen earlier in the year, they got involved in that Harden trade. It looks like the Cavaliers would like to pay Jared Allen a lot. You could get Jared Allen, who is comparable to Andre Drummond as a player. I'd say Drummond's better. Jared Allen, to me, is more athletic, though. You can get pretty much what you get out of Andre Drummond at a much cheaper cost. Jared Allen is also a free agent to be in a few months as well. Looks like the Cavaliers are committed to paying Allen, and Drummond's price tag would just be a little too much for them. It is worth noting that Andre Drummond, in 25 games of action for the Cavaliers, was averaging 17.5 points and 13.5 rebounds for that Cavs team. And I want to say this as well before we go forward in this video. I believe, since the Cavaliers let it be known that Drummond would not be playing for them anymore and that they're going to sit him out until a trade is accomplished, I believe that took the energy out of that Cleveland Cavaliers organization. Colin Sexton was balling. Remember that stretch where the Cavs had beat the Nets 2 times in a row? They competed against the Clippers really hard. They competed against the Lakers really hard. You look up and your big fella, for no other reason than business, is now sitting out. And for me, it's like, yo, Cleveland continues to do this game in which I feel like Dan Gilbert and company, they're looking for the next LeBron James. Newsflash, is anybody hearing me? Is this thing on? LeBron Jameses are not growing on trees. If you're not averaging 40, 20, and 10, it's like the Cavaliers don't want you. What's the point in going out and acquiring Andre Drummond for a year and a half? He plays the way you would have liked him to play around those young guards, by the way. He balls out, and then you're like, I don't want to pay him. Did you not think this guy would demand said contract when you made the move for him with the Pistons? It makes no sense. It's like the Cavaliers are looking for home runs, and if it's not a home run, they won't take a double. Well, sometimes you got to take a double to get to the promised land, right? Like sometimes you got to score that way. It can't be all about home runs. And to me, since LeBron James has teased this, for the most part, awful organization with a great time while he was there, it's like, if it ain't Bron, we don't want it. Look at some of the moves that Cavaliers group has made over the last 15, 20 years when it's not been attached to LeBron James. They went out and drafted Andrew Wiggins. What did you think you saw in Wiggins? They went out and drafted Anthony Bennett. What did you think you saw? What did you think you saw in Anthony Bennett, which was an absolute bust, by the way? Look at some of the moves that they've made and tell me that they're not shopping for Shaquille O'Neal or LeBron James. That's not walking around the league every day. That's the point, right? That's when you got it, you take care of it. And y'all didn't take care of LeBron. Obviously, he left y'all twice. So I'm looking around at that Cavs group like, bro, why even make the move for Drummond? He didn't do anything wrong. Seems to be a stand-up guy. And now you're sitting him, which I'm sure Drummond's like, okay, at least my averages don't go down. At least you're not playing other guys more than me. And my minutes just decrease while I'm technically, playing in games. They're doing it the right way from that perspective. But to me, we need to question more of like, what are the Cavs trying to accomplish? Anywho, one team that's very interested in Drummond services is the Toronto Raptors. Now, they're an interesting case as well, right? Think about it. The Toronto Raptors, because of COVID, can't play in their home arena in Canada. They've been forced to play in Tampa Bay all season. I think that was a big factor in a team that won a championship a couple years ago getting off to a bad start. So they get off to a bad start, and now they're slowly starting to figure it out. They just beat the Bucks 2 times in a row last week. So now it's like, okay, if you would have asked me a couple weeks ago would the Raptors have really made this move for Drummond, I would have said no, because the move is supposed to be around Aaron Baines and Terrence Davis. I would have said, nah, probably not. But because the Raptors have looked a lot more competitive and won some games, Fred VanVleet's been playing some incredible basketball. Kyle Lowry's been struggling, but VanVleet and Siakam have been balling. Now it's like the Raptors can look around the Eastern Conference. Outside of Brooklyn, nobody looks dominant this year. So maybe we could go for this thing. Philly looks really good, by the way, but I don't think they look dominant. So if you're now the Raptors, you're looking to acquire Drummond. If that trade does not happen with Toronto, here's where it gets very interesting. The Cavaliers will likely buy Drummond out of his contract. When it'll save them a couple bucks. Not much, but a couple bucks. If they do that, Drummond's a free agent. He's on that market where the Brooklyn Nets want him. Obviously, they don't have anything to trade for him. They traded all of it for Harden, right? But if you can buy him for $1 million, $2 million, if he's already made his money and just wants to compete for a championship for the next few months until he becomes a free agent, he'll get his bag in free agency. He could compete for a championship, get most of his contract with Cleveland. He's made a lot of money, and then, play for a team like the Nets or the Lakers. I think my Lakers need to be in the running for Andre Drummond. Davis is down for a month. LeBron could use some help. Marc Gasol don't want to rebound the basketball. Montrezl Harrell's undersized. I can see that one happening as well. Look for the Lakers and Nets to be in the running for the services of Andre Drummond, man. That if the Raptors can't pull the trigger on a move, which I believe they will when it's all said and done, but if they don't, Nets, Lakers will be two teams you got to watch for that will likely be in the buyout market for the services of Andre Drummond. Catch full new episodes of FERRO's music-based platform every day only on YouTube at It's Mr.Taliaferro. You can also find clips, updates, giveaways, and more on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, also at It's Mr.Taliaferro. For all basketball fans, make sure you tune in to FERRO's daily highlights, reports, and commentary on YouTube at FERRO, and even more updates on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at FERRO as well.